Hey everyone! Welcome back to Story Hive. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Let's jump into today's story. My girlfriend suggested an open relationship to help us grow, so I decided to kick her out this morning. My girlfriend, who we will call Rose 24, female, told me she needed to talk to me about something very important. Turns out this important thing was to ask if we could open up the relationship. This felt like a huge gut punch. I really thought we had a good relationship. I'm 25 male, and we've been together for 2.5 years. I was pretty stunned, and I think she could tell because she seemed to backtrack very quickly. I asked her why she'd want to open up the relationship. What does that mean anyway? I won't go over the whole conversation. I tried to stay calm as much as I could and eventually told her I'd like her to leave while I thought about everything. She seemed pretty distraught, which makes me wonder if she thought I'd react differently. Anyway, my main question is there any chance at saving this? Up until this point, I thought things were going well. Maybe I'm still kind of in shock. This literally happened like an hour ago, and I'm really having a difficult time processing everything. I feel really hurt. I've always heard that when one partner requests to open the relationship, any advice is appreciated. Has anyone ever gotten through a situation like this, or does it always end badly? Update. Okay, y'all have convinced me. I was already leaning toward ending everything. But considering I haven't gotten a single person telling me this would work, I'm going to call her right now and have her come get her stuff. Luckily, we don't share an apartment, so not too much stuff will need to be moved. Thanks for all the advice, everyone. I genuinely appreciate it. Edit 2. She's very upset, yelling at me about how I can end the relationship over a question. I should have just packed her stuff. I shouldn't have called for community commentary first. First up, she's either cheating or has someone in mind and wants to keep you as plan B. Don't open the relationship. Someone else chimes in. An open relationship request means 1. She has cheated and feels guilty and wants to wipe that away. 2. She wants to get her back blown out by someone else while utilizing you for your resources and support. Cake eater. Or 3. She's actively interviewing your replacement. At any rate, she's already cheated or knows who she wants to be with. Maybe she even has a list. It's over-ended. Another person says don't ask any questions. Then walk away. After you leave, mark all your socials with a caption. It sucks when someone wants to use the guise of opening the relationship as a way to cheat on you with a clear conscience. Update. Well, today has sucked. When Rose came over to pick up her stuff, she was adamant that we were not breaking up, especially over a hypothetical situation. Well, I'm not exactly proud of this, but I sort of blew up at her. We had a relationship where I never really yelled, so I think it might have scared her, honestly. Again, I'm not proud of it, but I really wanted to get some answers. After reading all the comments, you all convinced me she was cheating. Eventually, she completely broke down, and guess what? Some of you were right, she had already slept with someone. Hypothetical my butt. Rose, I really thought I felt broken earlier, but it turns out I didn't even know the definition of that. I felt an insane mix of emotions, mostly rage and sadness, a great combination, honestly. There was a moment where I thought I was going to put a hole in the wall. I'm proud of myself for not doing that. I calmly told her to get any of her stuff and leave. She was in hysterics at this point, kept telling me we could get through it and not to throw our relationship away. I simply told her that she did that. I just sat on the couch numb, waiting for her to grab her things. Eventually she left. Some of you probably could have predicted this, but she ended up leaving a decent amount of stuff here. I should have just packed it all up for when she got here, so inevitably I'll have to deal with that. Sorry I stopped responding to you all. I've been sitting on the couch just thinking about everything. My phone is blowing up with I don't even know how to tell my friends and family. I think I'm just going to pack the rest of her stuff and have one of my friends take it to her. I don't really want to see her again. I feel nauseous. Thanks for the advice. I'm glad I listened to you guys and didn't get tricked into something stupid. I didn't mention this in the first post, but this was my first real relationship, so I was hesitant at first to let it go. I'm having a hard time processing how different my life. I appreciate everyone who left a comment and reached out. Community response. First up, dude, advice from a 44-year-old man who has dealt with cheaters twice. Tell everyone what happened today. Give every detail you know. Do it fast if you don't. Sorry, you're a member of this group now. All the best. Someone else chimes in, I'm sorry you are going through this, man, but you dodged a bullet here. You don't have any kids or assets, and you're not married, so you can just block her and erase her from your life. It won't be easy and will take time, but you need to heal. Eventually, you will heal. She asked for an open relationship because she felt guilty about cheating and wanted to keep doing it without guilt. There's no excuse. Her friends and sister will try to tell you she made a mistake and to not throw away your relationship over one mistake. But she made a choice to cheat and lie, then suggested an open relationship to ease her guilt. They will gaslight you. So Rose's adamant denial of the breakup, huh? Surprise, surprise, it turns out it wasn't just a hypothetical situation after all. I guess Rose missed the memo that cheating isn't part of a healthy relationship diet. In the explosive confrontation, nothing like a good old yelling match to spice up the breakup proceedings. But hey, props to you for not decorating the walls with new ventilation holes, keeping it classy in the midst of chaos. And now you're stuck with a pile of Rose's stuff. I guess she's going for the if you can't win them over, drown them in messages approach. Additional update. Hello y'all. Since my last post got so much attention, I thought some of you lovely gentlemen and ladies would like to know how the last 2 days have gone. My phone was blowing up with texts from Rose, her sister, and her best friend. I didn't respond to Rose a single time. However, I stupidly responded to the others for a little bit. You all probably know what was said, throwing away the relationship over something minor, yada yada. I did have to laugh at the best friend forever telling me I'm a jerk for not fighting for my relationship and clearly not caring about her if I left it that easy. So I admit and blocked them. I took Sunday to try not to fall into a horrible pit of despair and self-loathing by watching some sports and playing some Zelda. You guys would be proud of me. I haven't had a single drop of alcohol since everything went down. Today was the day I worked on some things, packed up her stuff. He sent me a photo of it. He just left it on the top of her car. I thought that was pretty funny. Some of y'all were worried about me reaching out to people. The people that I'm actually concerned about knowing are aware of everything. I finally got the courage to call my mom. I was filled with shame and had a hard time calling her. I even sent a text to Rose's parents informing them of my side of what happened just in case. You all get the idea. Then I blocked them too. I did want to touch on one thing. Some of y'all were convinced in my first post that my friend, who didn't like Rose, was the one she was having hypothetical situations with. I would be genuinely shocked, more shocked than finding out Rose was a cheater. He lives about 5 hours away and only met her once. He's also engaged, which doesn't necessarily mean he couldn't cheat, I guess, but I would be very, very surprised. As the days passed since the confrontation, I found myself deep in reflection. It was astonishing how quickly my world had shifted. One moment, I was in what I believed to be a solid relationship. Surprisingly, instead of crumbling under the weight of my emotions, I felt an unexpected surge of strength. I began to dive into hobbies I had long neglected. Reading and gaming became my escape. There was something liberating about focusing on myself, rediscovering passions that had been overshadowed by the turmoil. My friends rallied around me, offering their unwavering support. They reminded me that I deserved so much more than the betrayal I had endured. With their encouragement, I started talking to a therapist, which became a lifeline in processing the whirlwind of feelings. Despite the anger and sadness that occasionally surged within me, I learned to channel those emotions into something productive. Journaling became a nightly ritual, a way to clear my mind and reflect on the chaos. I understood that healing would take time, but I was committed to moving forward and emerging stronger. This experience had opened my eyes to the true foundations of a relationship: trust and respect. Love alone wasn't enough, and I was determined not to overlook any red flags in the future. I knew that eventually I would want to date again, but I promised myself to take my time. I wanted to be in a place of confidence and security before entering the dating pool once more. With newfound clarity, I felt ready to be discerning and mindful of my own worth. As I processed everything, I felt grateful for the support of the online community that had offered solace during my darkest moments. Their words resonated with me, reminding me that I was not alone. With a mix of anticipation and trepidation, I looked forward to this new chapter in my life. Each day was a step toward healing, and I found comfort in knowing that the future held possibilities I had yet to explore. I decided to keep everyone updated on my journey, eager to share the lessons learned and the strength I was discovering. Here's to new beginnings, I thought as I closed my journal, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Days turned into weeks, and I settled into a new rhythm. I focused on self-care, exploring hobbies that once brought me joy. I joined a local book club where I met new people who shared my passion for stories. The discussions sparked something within me, a sense of connection that I had missed for far too long. Each meeting became a refuge, a space where I could momentarily escape the weight of my past. I started picking up my camera again, capturing moments that reminded me of the beauty in the world around me. Whether it was a vibrant sunset or the laughter of friends, I found solace in framing the things that brought me joy. I also began reconnecting with family and friends I hadn't seen in ages. I organized weekend outings, hiking in nearby nature trails, or hosting game nights at my place. It felt good to be surrounded by people who truly cared for me. As I navigated through my feelings, I occasionally reflected on Rose and the relationship we once shared. I had moments of anger, sadness, and even nostalgia, but I recognized that I had learned a valuable lesson. I had allowed myself to be vulnerable, and that vulnerability was part of what made me human. It was okay to feel hurt. It meant I had loved deeply. One evening, as I sorted through old photos, I stumbled upon a picture of us from a hiking trip we'd taken together. I paused, memories flooding back, the laughter, the shared dreams, the love. I felt a twinge of sadness, but reminded myself that those moments were real, even if the relationship had changed. I was learning to cherish the good without being anchored by the past. Eventually, I decided to tackle the remaining items Rose had left at my place. I gathered her things, placing them in boxes, and arranging for a friend to drop them off at her apartment. I knew it would be a step toward closure, a symbolic act of releasing what no longer served me. On the day of the drop-off, I felt a mixture of anxiety and relief. My friend texted me updates, sharing little moments of humor that helped lighten the mood. Afterward, I sat quietly in my living room, feeling an odd sense of peace wash over me. That evening, I took time to reflect on my journey. I acknowledged how far I had come, how I had started to rebuild my life. I felt ready to embrace new experiences, new relationships whenever I felt the time was right. A couple of months later, during a casual outing with friends, I met someone who caught my eye. We chatted and shared laughs over dinner, and for the first time in a long while, I felt a spark. It was refreshing, exciting, and a little terrifying, but I welcomed the possibility. As I left the restaurant, I glanced at the night sky, the stars twinkling brightly above me. I understood now that life was about ebb and flow, about moments of joy interspersed with challenges. I felt a sense of gratitude for my past, not as a weight, but as a teacher, guiding me to a brighter future. And so, with each passing day, I stepped forward, embracing the unknown with a newfound strength and an open heart. Whatever came next, I was ready. As the months went by, I found myself fully immersed in this new chapter of my life. I grew closer to the new person I met, sharing experiences and building a connection based on mutual respect and understanding. Each date felt like a fresh start, a reminder that love could be rebuilt, albeit differently than before. One evening, we took a stroll under the stars, reminiscing about our individual journeys. I shared my story, the heartbreak and the healing. To my surprise, he listened intently, nodding as if he understood the weight of those moments. I felt heard and valued in a way I hadn't in a long time. As we reached a quiet park, I paused, looking up at the night sky. It felt like a full circle moment. I realized that while the past had shaped me, it didn't define my future. I had learned resilience and the importance of self-love. Eventually, I decided to let go of any lingering feelings tied to Rose. I wrote her a letter expressing my hope that she found her own path to happiness. I felt lighter after sealing it away, acknowledging that closure didn't always mean an end, but rather a transition to something new. One sunny afternoon, as I sat with my new partner, laughing and planning our next adventure, I understood that life would always hold uncertainties. But I was ready to face them head on, hand in hand with someone who respected my journey. In that moment, surrounded by warmth and laughter, I knew I was finally home, both within myself. The heartache had taught me invaluable lessons, and now I was ready to embrace all the possibilities that lay ahead. With a smile on my face and hope in my heart, I stepped into tomorrow, eager to see where the journey would lead. Thanks for tuning in to today's Reddit story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more amazing stories. See you next time.